So, welcome everyone. My name is Bartek Wrzosek, and I will be your today's host. Welcome to the international webinar. This is Rethink HR number 26. So, welcome everyone. And today we will be focusing on the evolving role of technology and AI in L&D. So I hope it's interesting topic nowadays. So we decided to create, I hope, quite exciting agenda. So let's have a look on what is prepared. So first of all, a few words at the beginning, some introduction to the topic will be done by myself. And I will elaborate a little bit more about how the role of the technology is changing nowadays, how AI and other technologies could support our learning in the environment we are living in. So this is the second element of our webinar. Then we will introduce you something exciting, I hope. It will be AIBLE Simulations. DEVELOR International has a new partner, and the person behind that partnership is our former colleague, Mariana Konina, our managing director from DEVELOR Ukraine. She decided to develop also something new based on her experience in the learning and development industry. So she will introduce you something exciting. We decided also to implement in our all DEVELORian countries. Then a little bit more about the simulation presented by Mariana, some use cases and also some presentation, how it really looks like, because probably everybody is more curious about how it really works. So this is the next stage. And at the end, we have some space and time for you to do the question and answers. So if you have any questions during the presentation, so please take a note and give it this as a question to at the end of our webinar. Or if you would like to comment or ask something in between, of course, we will try to also analyze the chat and grab and gather all questions. Some of them we will answer on the spot if possible, and some of them we will just postpone for the end of the presentation to have this Q&A section on the proper timing. So feel free to ask anytime using chat. In case of other technicals, of course, if you could like to switch on your camera, it's always nice to see the faces of our participants. So please do it. Of course, be muted during the webinar, so the form of communication between us is only chat that time. So this is what we created. This is what we have in plan. So let me start with some insights about the technology and AI nowadays. So for the beginning, I decided to show you some personal story. In the childhood, I was cross-country skier. So you see my photos from that time, and probably you will try to figure out how to connect the cross-country skiing with the L&D and AI. So I will try to prove that's possible. So what the story is, as I mentioned at the beginning, I was the cross-country skier. I was preparing many times for different championships, but one specific championship was most memorable for me in case of the learning and experience. And I was preparing to the big championship, and I was preparing, let's say, more than 1 month. The weather conditions that time was almost every single day like -20, something like that. And after this month, when the championship day came, the weather completely changed. It became +10. So the snow started to melt, and the conditions of the skiing were completely different. So when I started the run, I was just completely completely disappointed because I couldn't do the proper moves because of the snow. So it was better for me to just do the normal run without skis. So maybe I was more successful. So it gave me a kind of idea and thinking that in this world it's difficult to prepare for something which is really difficult to predict, but there are some skiers and worldwide known champions, Norwegians. Norwegians are for many years the top three in almost every single contest. So they are very, very powerful representation. They have really good cross-country skiers. And like 5 or 6 days, years ago, they came to the conclusion that it's not possible to train more. They just reached this, let's say, the wall. That it's not possible from the human being to train more because they are training a lot, and decided to rethink a little bit the way of the training, and they started to think about the training like maybe it's good to prepare the skiers also for the unpredictable circumstances, completely different ones. Like you could connect it with my story, so maybe I could do it like the Norwegians nowadays. But they started to prepare the skiers to the different conditions. They started to invest into micro regeneration, so how to regenerate the body during the run. They also put more efforts and energy to build the mental health and resistance of the skiers during the run. And they gave the Norwegians continuous results and reaching the very good results every single year. So they started to train a little bit different, I think a little bit smarter. So my idea was, just to connect the dots that also in the L&D, the competitive edge, it no longer comes from the greater effort, but from smarter learning. So how to do it, how to invest the budget properly. So this is it. As you see on the picture, I'm still trying to do some skiing also nowadays. But to show you first the big picture, few insights about the role and how the L&D is changing. They came from our learning and development survey we did this year in DEVELOR International in every single country. So it will be, I think, good to see what are the priorities in L&D, what are the changes in L&D from this survey, just to set up the scene for that. I think the picture is also appropriate for this section of the presentation because this is biathlon. So this discipline needs not only good running but also good shooting, and you need to be focused on that specific moment, because if you are not focused, then you are doing extra rounds. You need to ski more. So now let's have a look for what we need to focus as a people from L&D industry, from HR. So here are the results. So one of the questions we asked our respondees is, what is the top strategic priority in HR in your organization for this year? So as you can see, among the top three, we have digitalization and artificial intelligence, which shows that not only HR and L&D are interested as a business priority, but also the companies are focusing more efforts, more focus on the digitalization and AI. So I think it shows clearly that this is our priority to know more about the topic. So I hope this webinar will give you some extra answers to that and support you with specific knowledge into the topic. So the priority is there. And also we asked the participants how many of them are using the AI specifically in the current L&D initiatives. So I will show you the results, but I'm also curious how it's among our today's participants. So I will invite you to the short survey. So it will be the Mentimeter. So I will start the presentation for you. And I will be glad if you just scan the QR code using your smartphone and try to answer this question. So how do you see the use of AI in L&D? So are you maybe already using, but be specific, it's not about using chat on your GPT or different chat for your individual purpose. It's about implementing AI in your L&D initiatives. So this is, I think, a little bit different, but try to answer. So we have 4 options there. You are planning to use it. You find this is interesting, but no plans for now. But maybe you are against the using of AI in the L&D in your companies. Let's have a look. We see for now the distribution is quite equal, except the last one. So no people on the webinar, they are against AI. Surprise. Okay, let's have a look. So the biggest number of participants is already using AI in the L&D initiative. So you see it, but also the big number is planning or at least think that this is interesting to consider. So let's compare it to the results of our study because the number of participants in our study was a little bit bigger than today's audience. It was like more than 1,500 participants. So let's compare that. So I will switch again to the presentation, but keep this Mentimeter still open because we will have another questions later on. So the results of our survey were a little bit higher in case of the first category. So the people from HR L&D, they were parts of this survey, voted like 40%, almost 40% are already using the AI. I think it's also important to mention that we are doing this survey since, let's say, 4 or 5 years. And I think comparing to the previous year, the increase is like more than 15%. So I think that every year it will change. Also, the number of people they are against the usage of AI is decreasing. So I remember the first surveys and the pool of people they were questioning the AI in general was higher. So now I think almost everyone is seeing the big advantage of using AI in the L&D. So I think this is the sign that we are at the proper place nowadays. So just to extend this message about the AI and using of AI in the L&D, I decided to speak a little bit more about the modern approach to the learning journey. So how to close the gap between the learning and doing, because this is since years the biggest, let's say, challenge for us in every single learning initiative, how to do it. Even if maybe you remember from the past, it was quite famous Bersin and Associates study. And the Bersin and Associates, the consulting company, they proved that in the survey that only 15% of the people successfully implementing the knowledge from the training to the current jobs. So of course, there is 15% of participants, they are never implementing anything, and it's difficult to change it. But we have the majority of the people, like 70%, this is the data from the survey, that they are starting after the training to implement something, but they are giving up very fast. And this is a very big number. So you could see from 100, how many people, if we are not doing this learning journey properly, but just only training itself, this is not enough. It's a big loss for the company. If we just compare it to the typical training group, which is always like 12 people, based on that data, 10 out of 12 participants is a waste. So in case of the budget, this is really difficult. So the closing this gap and supporting people to implement the new behaviors they just learned in the training, I think this is the biggest challenge for us, and we need to be very focused on that to secure the proper implementation and to prove that the budgets the business is spending on the L&D is a good spending. So this is, I think, very important one message. If we compare and we just show the landscape of typical training, the learning journey is, and majority of the companies are typically focusing only on learning and practice. So they are delivering a training and this is it, or delivering a virtual class and this is it. And they are many times forgetting about two important elements. First of all, there is a wrong assumption that every single participant is coming to the training with the engagement. So sometimes, of course, we have this kind of people that like to attend the training. The second element, many people are not aware that they should participate into the training because maybe they don't know what they need to develop. So this is also an important part of the learning journey, that we shouldn't take this assumption. We should invest also in the preparation to this learning initiative. And I think also the most common mistake is neglecting the power of reinforcement and implementation. Sometimes it's really, let's say, simple solution, like we have a training, but we have also the follow-up or the individual coaching. There are different forms, and I will show you a little bit more how we could do it with AI and also without. So this is what we should focus on. And in DEVELOR, we developed the concept of the learning journey, which starts with the business challenge. So this is the first element. So we are starting to connect the learning journey with the real business challenge. So what we should do, what we should change, and why. This is important to start. And then we are trying to engage participants before the training to build the awareness, to build the engagement. Then go to the learning and practice with a lot of practice, really. And then support that to have at the end of this journey the new routine. So this is something how the modern learning journey could look like to support the change, to close the knowing learning gap. And just to give you some examples, we will have the first element, which is awareness. So awareness, we usually trying to boost, giving the participants, for example, some kind of self-diagnosis or the tests. And people based on that could figure out that maybe something I need to change. Maybe this is the information for me that I should go into this training, because based on this self-diagnosis, for example, I see some gaps in the communication, and so on and so forth. So I think this is one of the possibilities. But the AI as a booster, because I like to treat the AI as an extra muscle. So the AI applications are also, I think, very helpful. So what we could do, we could build the personalized pre-boarding emails. So to give the AI the creation of and design of this emails, they will be more engaging. There are also, for example, the AI generated videos or podcast teasers. So it's easy for us and not very expensive to generate some podcast from the material we have, like as an example, using Notebook LM as one of the solutions. So it's simple, but it gives you some extra material to tease the participants before the training. What is also, I think, important, and Mariana will tell a little bit more about that, how we could use also the simulations at the beginning of the process. So just to give participants possibility to try and maybe to fail, that also produces this awareness that I need to do something in case of change of my behaviors. So this is the first stage, awareness. What next? In case of engagement, what we like to use in DEVELOR is giving the participants the interactive pre-works with some extra videos, extra elements they could use. Uh, in case of gamified training, we are immediately giving them some kind of scene like they are approaching Mars. They will go for the journey with Amundsen during our Amundsen training, which is gamified. And also in case of building engagement, I like as an L&D consultant to do the focus groups with the participants, especially when the process is bigger. Of course, for the purpose of 2 days training, focus group maybe is too big. But for the long initiatives, it's engaging people to co-creation, and this is the guarantee that they will be more engaged when they came for the training. And what AI is giving us in this area, of course, during the focus groups, AI gives us very good summaries and notes from the session. So it's instead of writing down by myself, I like to use Fireflies or this kind of applications. Of course, AI could, for example, support the gamification. So we could create some kind of quizzes, some kind of elements using AI very, very easily. And also, in case of the next stages in learning, as a part of the process, what I'm experiencing nowadays, and it also came from the interviews we did during L&D survey this year, that many companies are moving a part of the training material to the asynchronous forms. So before the participants go to the training, they do the e-learning in the topic. They need to watch the video pills or the webinars. So this is the transfer of the learning before the practice. So in case of AI applications, of course, as it was with the engagement, AI generated learning content, scenarios, quizzes. And also, what is very comfortable nowadays, especially if you are a part of international organization, automatic translation and localization of materials, including videos we have. It's very easy with the specific programs like HeyGen or Colossian we are using in DEVELOR. So this very, very fast and very easy translation. So AI could help us also with that. In case of the practice, so the training itself, what it supports, the change is using many case studies during the training. It's also following the individual cases of the participants. So it helps on the training the further implementation, because if they know on the training how to do something very based on the real business examples they have in their minds, it's easier to them to transfer the knowledge. In case of the AI applications, many people, or also the trainers, are using AI to create the case studies or recreate the case studies to fit more to the specific industry. It's also very, I think, interesting application of the AI. And what is really powerful nowadays, we also, as a DEVELOR, because of our partnership with AIBLE, we will start to use the simulations on the training. So this is also another way how we could use the AI supported simulation. For example, instead of typical role plays, when the people, for example, don't feel comfortable playing a role of the client. So instead of that, we have AI simulated situation. And in case of reinforcement, what works really well and what we practice is the post-work, some supplementary materials, but the AI could give us opportunity to create very fast, for example, the follow-up emails with some small post-works. Uh, Also, the many companies are using the reminder bots. They are reminding us to do something. Um, and also, what I heard from one of my clients, they are using AI coach, who is available all the day, all the time to ask extra questions regarding the training content. So this is also something interesting. And at the end, the implementation. So this is the crucial part of every single journey to sustain the change. And what we are doing in DEVELOR, what was working well since years, it's building the individual plans with the participants. It's giving them very precise implementation tasks. So they need to specifically know what to do after the training. Also, the follow-up materials. And what I really like at this stage is using simulation, AI-supported simulation like AIBLE, because this is a real scenario. This is a situation I could practice with a very safe environment, but Marianna will tell more about this a little bit later. So there are many of them. I'm just checking the clock, so I don't want to speak more than it was now. So we just started to think about the usage of AI. I hope I give you some, let's say, the landscape of that, plus some ideas, but the more specific information you will receive from Mariana, AIBLE Simulations. So Mariana, the stage is yours. And also, guys, in between, please send some questions into the chat. We will answer at the end of the presentation. So, Mariana, stage is yours. I'm just switching.
Thank you very much, Bartek. Hello, everybody, and let's have a round of applause to Bartek for this amazing intro and keynote speech about the learning journey. I actually found it very inspiring and interesting because he shared so many practical details and examples. I think all of us can inspire ourselves from it. While we're speaking, millions of our employees are now joining Zoom calls or conference rooms, being unprepared for very difficult situations. A tough client, difficult conversation with an employee, negotiations. And they do their best, learn and improve themselves. However, they do it by failing in real life situations and paying a real price for it. Lost opportunities, lost reputation, maybe even losing key people in our organization. So this is not, learning and then for people, it's not just a nice to have thing, but this is something where our organizations are paying the prices or not, if our people are ready. And nowadays, when institutions like universities and all the conventional learning organizations, they are not keeping up with the pace of our modern world. Corporate learning is becoming the world's biggest classroom, actually, where people really do learn and grow because business requires that. And the importance of L&D is becoming more and more visible, I think. However, what we do see that it's not easy to get people prepared. And this is what Bartek also was saying, that in a perfect world where humans are perfect, they go to the learning, they are very disciplined, very motivated. They're like, yes, I want to know more, give me more. And then finally they change their behaviors from Monday and we're like, wow, what a great result. Great. But in reality, it does not happen, unfortunately. And Bartek told you a lot about this study, the Birkenkopf's Bears and Associates study and everything. And what happens in reality in the majority of cases is that, especially when we talk about online e-learning, asynchronous e-learning, we are providing our people with very nice PDFs and videos and everything. Imagine we wanted our people to learn how to swim, just a metaphor. And we're like, okay, so go watch this beautiful YouTube video about how to swim. Then, maybe read this great PDF about how to swim. And then on Monday, we're like, okay, so here the ocean, go. And we kind of expect that that would be enough for them to survive those waves. But I mean, of course, I'm exaggerating right now to demonstrate how naive that would be. However, we do kind of expect that people will do prepare themselves in between the YouTube videos and the ocean somehow. But it doesn't happen. And it's not because we as L&D specialists are doing something wrong, or we are, I don't know, we don't want them to grow, or we don't give them the opportunities, but sometimes it's physically not possible. If we talk about the online learning, so Bartek told you a lot about in learning statistics in general, but I fetched some data about e-learning as well. And the numbers is much worse, much worse. But but again, 21st century, we all want to have the benefits of online learning as well, because it's fast, because it's scalable, because it's easier, and so on. But humans are not perfect. And we should stop trying to design learning for perfect humans and stop trying, hoping that they will do the learning themselves. So online learning actually became even more difficult because we kind of expect that people are very disciplined, as I said, but I mean, we all know that usually people just scroll through the course or just go through the test and that's it, and we don't expect any results from it. But that's sad because we want results. So I have a question to everybody right now. So being said all of that, we understand that there's something missing in between, right? So how a skill forms. Okay, if we say that reading a PDF and watching a YouTube is great, but it's not enough to be ready for the ocean. So what do we need? And you probably know these names, Kolb and Erickson and Salas. So these people were like working a lot in the industry and in adult learning field, let's say. And what they say that, of course, humans, adults, they need deliberate practice sessions, of course, a swimming pool between the theory and the ocean. Deliberate practice session, self-reflection, feedbacks, and trying over and over again. So a question to you people, how do you think, give me a bet, or maybe how many deliberate practice sessions a human, an adult, needs to get basic word proficiency? We're not talking about becoming, guru, but how many times we need to practice a skill to make this neural connection happen in our head, or to form this muscle memory, so that we don't have to consciously think every time like, okay, I swim with my right hand, then with my left hand. So how many? I see the chat right now. So let's have a look on your bat. 10,000 hours. Robert, that's actually a marketing hook. It's not exactly true. I know where it's coming from. You'll be surprised. Not exactly 10,000 hours. 12 weeks, 20, 50 occasions, 3 weeks. Okay. Depending on how difficult. Yeah, Petra, you're right. Absolutely. 30, Rock. Okay. 10,000 hours, 3,000 hours. Oh my God. Then we will never learn anything. 21 days. Okay. So, according to Kolb and Erickson, of course, it varies between, just like you said, depending on the complexity and stuff. But according to Kolb and Erickson, the number is from 15 to 30. Again, deliberate, so concentrated, on purpose, practice sessions. Depending on a scale, it might be from, I don't know, 10 to 15 hours or maybe 30 hours. It depends, again, what we're training for. So if we don't do that, if we do not have any practice sessions, the knowledge transfer will be less than 20%. So if we just read and listen to the best world swimmer, we might remember around 20% of what the person said. And during normal learning sessions, I mean, if we talk about online learning on LMSs, we don't even have the opportunity to practice. So being that said, I would like to say a couple of words again about me. Why am I so bold with these numbers and everything? So I spent more than 18 years in your shoes in L&D, and as Bartek says, I was working with Bartek and all our DEVELOR colleagues for years and numerous corporate projects and numerous hours of online and offline programs and all of that. And I have to say, I'm very proud of what we accomplished and about all the projects we did. However, no matter what a great course we would do, no matter what a great online program we would deliver, it will not work without the implementation support Bartek was saying. And you all know this, and this is not news, right? So we're like, okay, Mariana, thank you, Captain Obvious, we know this. So this is why we came up with building something new and why we are talking about AI simulations, why we're not calling them role plays or anything like that. So this is something which is very, very, very realistic. It is engaging. It gives you feedback. It gives you opportunity to experiment and make and see how your decisions, make impact. And the difference between a role play and a simulation, the role play, it's where we have roles being played. So people are trying to artificially pretend that they are the client or that they're subordinate, and it's really artificial. Just the term. And simulation is a maximum realistic reconstruction of a real situation at your work, and where AI will be playing, but not playing. This is the key. AI doesn't know that it is in a simulation. It thinks it is the person you talk to. This is why it's so realistic. So what we created in AIBLE Simulations is a platform to create simulations with AI characters so that your people will be able to rehearse as many times as they want in the safe environment and win in real lives. So what it is about, this is not just a wrapper of ChatGPT. When you ChatGPT, can you please play my client? No. It's much more complex. It's a huge engine of different frameworks, methodologies, because again, a nerd from L&D is a part of the team. So yes, it has a lot of known and loved methodological background. I will tell a little bit later about it. So the thing is, you don't need to wait. You don't need to, I don't know, be a very nervous about how we will build all of this stuff, because the platform will do it for you. So if you have a very good partner like DEVELOR who can build those simulations for you in a couple of days or hours, that's absolutely new experience. So it's not about just reading or consuming information, but it's about active participation. So the platform has like 3 modules: the building, training, and feedback. So what makes it so unique is the AI characters inside, the personas. We call them synthetic humans, because we are using the Big 5 personality typology. I'm sure you people heard about it, or you even use that, to make those synthetic personas feel like they are real humans. They have their sense of humor. They are proactive. They have emotions. We are using the Plutchik emotional wheel to reconstruct emotions of humans. I will show you in a couple of minutes. They can be stubborn. They can be closed. They can be different. So if you need a specific typical client to be reconstructed in the simulation, we can do that. If you need a specific difficult employee and you need to train how to give them feedback, we can do that. So they are absolutely amazing, and the experience you get is extraordinary. They are not simple, I will tell you. as I said, those synthetic personas, they think they are real. They don't know that they are in a simulation. Therefore, this is why they are so engaged and so, again, trying to be realistic. This is how the look and feel of the simulation looks like. We have on the left some hints what a learner should do in order to win in this simulation. Of course, we can hide it for the assessment purposes, or just like, again, Bartik was saying, if you want to use AI simulations before the learning process so that they fail and they are like, oh my God, I really need to learn how to provide feedback. Oh my God. So this is when probably you don't want to show them the hints. Then on the right, you can see Plutchik emotional wheel. So again, we show how the emotions of the persona are changing during our conversation. So you will be able to observe how it happens. And in the middle, we will have pictures of our personas changing their facial expressions or even body language. So again, that we will first engage ourselves, and second, we will read the body language, just like in real life, and understand that, oh my God, he's not happy right now, or he's happy right now. So we use the voice interaction mostly to talk to them. Important part, why am I telling you this right now before showing the real simulation? Because the simulation will happen in real life, in real time. I mean, so if I will stop talking to the synthetic persona and try to explain something to you, the persona will get mad, just like in real life. It will be like, why are you so silent? Why are you not responding? What's going on? And maybe even kick me out of the office or the shop where the simulation happens. So we will see that in a couple of minutes. So this is how the second part, the look and feel of the simulation itself looks like. And finally, at the end of each conversation we will have with those AI personas, our participants are getting huge comprehensive reports. The report has several parts. The what part is the success criteria we set. I mean, as a linguist specialist, as architects of the simulation, we set those criteria. And our AI platform will compare the real conversation with those criteria and then say, hey, you didn't say hello in the beginning of this conversation. You should do that next time. Or you missed the need assessment part. You should ask this and this question. So we will see in a second. And the second part is the how. So I might have said hello, but I might have said it disrespectfully or respectfully, or so basically, we also evaluate the quality of communication through the whole conversation. And finally, the last part, the stage-by-stage breakdown. So we will see the full transcript of the whole conversation with comments on the how part and the what part, what was missing, what was there, what should we do differently. So actually, if you do follow the feedbacks and instructions here, I guarantee that you people can perform better and better after each and every attempt. We actually evaluated several pilots of ours, and we saw that the average performance grow from first attempt to fifth attempt was 90%. So that's a lot. And that's amazing, actually. So what can we simulate on AIBLE platform? Well, basically any kind of human-to-human conversations. So related to, I don't know, handling objections, selling, managing crisis situation, communicating change, working with, again, feedbacks, goal setting, even coaching your subordinates. We can do that. Practicing communication, assertive communication, nonviolent communication. So whatever you can describe to AI, we can program this. And you can train your people to become better in this. And finally, because before we do show the simulation itself, how this collaboration between AIBLE and DEVELOR works like, because Bartek said that we are partners right now. So how it works like, AIBLE is a platform which is designed to create train, and get feedbacks. However, the scenarios for those simulations, they are not like, they have to be prepared. They have to be designed for your specific situations, for your specific learning programs, onboarding programs, and all of that. So this is where DEVELOR steps up. This is where our certified AI architects will help you people to design the needed scenario for you, or adapt and help you to create the learning journey for your program, and decide together where it would be better to use those simulations, in the beginning, in the middle, at the end, instead of something, or to enhance something, and all of that. So this is how you will get the best from very experienced trainers and methodologists from DEVELOR, and a very new innovative AI platform. So this being said, I finished with my beautiful slides, and I am ready to show you the platform. I will stop sharing for a second just to double check if we are not missing any questions I have to address right now. Okay, so we can continue. Can we continue? Do we want to see the real simulation? Say yes. Nod with your hand. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to engage, you people and myself as well, because I need the feedback. Okay, so I will show you right now 2 different scenarios. We will not go through the whole conversation because it would take us so much time. But my goal right now is that you see the look and feel, you see how they interact, you see that they are different, and I will behave first as a good participant, so I will try my best to win, and then I will start doing some stupid stuff so that you will see how the persona will also react, so that they are not just robotic reactions. Okay, we're ready. I am starting to share my screen right now with the sound. Okay, just in case, again, it might be slightly slower because of the Zoom sharing, but I hope it will be fine. Do we see the screen? All good? Okay, so this is the starting page of the simulation for our participants. This is what they will see: the overview of the story, who are we talking to, the goal of the simulation. So this is everything we can design for you. The key facts about the owner of the shop, and what we have to do during the simulation. So what is the scenario? I will give you a couple of hints what's going to happen. So this is Bella. She is owner of Bella Coffee Shop. Surprise, surprise. So we are working for Crema Roasters, a company who wants to become a partner, a vendor for Bella, of course. Bella is a very nice, very sweet person, but she doesn't really like salespeople. So as soon as she will find out that we are a salesperson, and you will see this shift in her behavior, she will be like, nah, okay, well, I'm busy, bye. So our job would be to go through this bias of hers and agree on kind of testing the beans, the coffee beans we sell. So I will just dedicate a couple of minutes to this conversation so that you can see that, we can see the report, and then I will show you a different one we have. Okay, so this is the starting. The video we see right now, it can be absolutely different depending on what we want to have on the story. Okay, so as I said, we see here her emotions. Here we see the hints, so we can start. Good morning. Wow, I'm the first visitor today. There's nobody here. It's usually more crowded than today. So I'm trying to start a small talk or something like that with Bella, so that she's
we're actually right in the middle of our afternoon rush, even if it looks quiet for a second. The regulars usually flood in all at once this time of day. What can I get started for you while it's still calm?
Oh, okay. I will have Americano, please, and a croissant with chocolate. So again, I'm still being a customer.
Coming right up. That'll be $6.50. You can just tap whenever you're ready.
And you can see that here we have this in blue, so it kind of shows us that we completed the stage. There you go. Thank you very much. By the way, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Mariana, and I work for Crema Roasters. You probably know about us. It's very nice to meet you, Bella.
Nice to meet you, Mariana. Crema Roasters, huh? I've definitely seen your bags around. Look, I'd love to chat, but the line's starting to build up again. Enjoy your coffee, okay?
So she doesn't really want to talk to me. Yeah, sure. Of course, I will wait. What I really wanted to know is if we can have a chit chat about the beans and the vendors you have right now. Maybe we can offer something extraordinary for you. I'm not doing it right.
I appreciate the offer, Mariana, but I've been with my current people a long time, and my customers are very particular about their usual roast. Honestly, I'm just too busy with the rush right now to get into a chit-chat about vendors.
Oh, I see. And what exactly was this so special and particular about the usual roast your regulars like? I hope she
It's nothing fancy, just a classic medium roast that's reliable and tastes like home to them. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to focus on these drinks.
Bella, why are you so running? I mean, you should have your barista helping you out right now. Come on, just step out of the counter. Let's talk. Nothing will happen. Your clients won't leave you. Let's talk now. As you can see, I'm not doing the right thing right now, so I just
Excuse
want
me,
you.
I'm not running, I'm working. And telling me how to manage my staff or step away from my own counter is incredibly out of line. I have drinks to make and customers who actually respect my time, so please just take your coffee and let me get back to my business.
Okay, so you can see that she she kicked us away, kicked us out of the shop. That was really sad. So now we see the report. It's in front of us. The scores we have here, and then what is great and what to improve. The overall feedback. So what was great? You demonstrated a strong sense of professional identity, stating, and you have my quote even here, Crema Roasters, right from the start. This transparency is a vital foundation for any successful negotiation because it establishes who you are and who you represent. Okay. The most critical area for your development is developing situational awareness and professional empathy by ignoring Bella clear boundaries during rush hour and patronizing language. Bella, why are you so running? You should have this is the barista helping you out. You effectively insulted her management of her own business, demanding that she would step out of the counter when she clearly overwhelmed. So this is what we did wrong. Now, the report will also tell us how the communication went. So the initial opening, you entered the cafe during peak hours, you immediately commented on the store traffic. This showed a lack of situational awareness. Bella anticipation remained high. So here we see the three situations and some advice how to improve our communication. Focus on low pressure discovery before the pitch. Before asking about vendors, ask about her craft. I notice you're using De La Marzocco. This is the coffee machine behind her. Do you find that specific roast profile performs best on this machine? Okay, that's a good situational question. And finally, we can also go through one by one all the 7 C's of communication here and with some recommendations. For example, let's go to concrete. You used vague terms like something extraordinary, chit chat about the beans. You failed to provide specific details. Vague claims fail to pique the interest of the skeptical business owner. How to improve? Replace extraordinary with a specific benefit. We specialize in classic medium roasts that maintain the reliable flavor your regulars love, but with a more consistent delivery schedule. Okay, so this is very concrete, I think, and the advice I could have used. And finally, just like I said, the full transcript of the conversation. What did we do well on the what part? what did we miss, and the how part, so how we communicated and how we can do this better. So, as I said, we created Bella and the story about Bella for a specific case, but we also can create any other case you need. So it could be leadership, it could be sales, it could be tough employee, or anything like that. What languages is the platform available? Thank you. Oh, we have the answer below. So currently we support 26 languages. You can see them in the chat box. And that's great because you can also use this for your local needs.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Mariana, for this great presentation. And let's just summarize and finish the webinar with some slides. Maybe some of them will be helpful also for you. But I would like to first of all to call back the sport metaphor I started the webinar. And I think if we are thinking about the training in sport, it looks like this on the graph. So the sportsmen are perfecting in training different behaviors, and they are training. Then there is a performing in practice, which is a contest championship. So the whole year looks like this. In some companies, so if we just try to compare it with business, we are performing, and then the training comes once a year or something like that. So I think extending the process of the training using the AIBLE simulation, for example, will give the participants, even which is they have only 1 day training in person, to, for example, practice during a month or 2 months the specific behavior we would like to focus on. So I think this is quite interesting to apply maybe some ideas from the sport. And I was mentioning at the beginning the Norwegian team, and this year we had this Winter Olympic, and try to guess, and please write it down into the chat, how many medals in cross-country skiing from 36, as I remember, were reached by the Norwegian team, including gold, silver, and bronze medal, of course. So the total is like 36, as I remember. So how many you feel they reached? And in case of the competitors, this was there were more than 100 countries, participating. So quite huge competition. So how you feel? How many medals all in all they reached? 26, 15. Okay, 20. Okay, 17, 22. Okay. 40. Okay, you are very optimistic and and you feel that they really crushed the whole competitors. In the real life, and even if you are very tough, the success is not so easy. But what they did, I think, maybe it's not like you mentioned 20 or more, but 14 up to 26 is still, very great result. And they are really beating the competitors using this smart way of the training. So what I would like to finish this webinar is a sentence that if you want to develop the competences of your people, not only the training, more training will give you the good result, but the smarter way of learning, also using the AI and different tools they could support just supporting the knowledge and delivery gap. So we would like to reach at the end. So focus on that. And what I would like to add at the end, if you have if you like to have this report I mentioned a few times during this webinar, it's still available to be uploaded. So if you scan the QR code, you could just receive this L&D Kaleidoscope report from this year. So it's possible. It also download on our website, so you could also use the website. If you just like to follow us in different social media to have a current information about upcoming webinars, some ebooks we are also creating in the interesting topics, so you could follow one of them, which is more comfortable for you. So this is it from our side. Thanks again for your active participation, for very interesting questions. Thank you for our special guest, Mariana, for being with us and this great, a very interesting presentation and also great answers to the questions. So guys, thank you again. I will wish you the good afternoon. And see you soon on the next webinars. Thank you very much.